Time now for your forecast first. WRBL News 3 First Alert Weather.
I was just talking to Chuck Williams in the studio talking about taking a bike ride tonight. That's the type of evening we have out there. It's just beautiful, as you can see. But through central Texas, that area low pressure, we're watching that closely. That system is going to be coming here. And most of the energy will be south of Columbus, but we have to serve everybody. We have to serve everybody in our viewing area. That's why we're going to be weather aware late tomorrow night. But it will not be a spoiler for Friday night events. That's all coming up. So let's get back to that camera shot. I'll show you. 78 degrees out there with a southwest breeze. It's kind of an indication that things are starting to get a little bit more energized. And we're going to talk more about this coming up in your forecast. But as you can see, through central Alabama, tomorrow night, we'll start tracking some storms. You're watching WRBL News 3 on your side.
Columbus police investigating a pair of murders tonight.
We'll tell you what we know so far as investigators search for clues in these unrelated shootings. And U.S. Senator Doug Jones personally checking on Lee County storm survivors.
Details of his trip as the area continues to recover.
On your side, this is News 3 Evening Edition.
Good evening, and thank you for trusting News 3. I'm Phil Scoggins.
And I'm Teresa Whitaker. This evening we begin with breaking news. An apartment fire has claimed the life of a baby. The Phoenix City Police Department says the fire happened earlier today at the Cloverleaf Apartments located at the 2800 block of Stadium Drive. This is a look at the Cloverleaf Apartments right now. Officials were called to the scene at around 10:15 this morning. According to police, the 4-month-old baby was taken to Piedmont Columbus Regional for treatment of burns. The child was pronounced dead at the hospital as a result of injuries from that fire. The case is currently under investigation.
Also breaking in Troup County, a 4-year-old boy has died after drowning in a swimming pool. Troup County Coroner Aaron Hackley confirms to News 3 that 4-year-old Isaac Seja Perez was pulled from the bottom of a pool this morning. Police responded to the scene located on Willis Drive at around 10:15 this morning. Officials say at this time the drowning appears to be a tragic accident. The Columbus homicide count for 2019 jumped to 10 this morning, with 2 unrelated shooting deaths happening within hours of each other. A woman was shot to death in a city park off Hamilton Road, and a 60-year-old man was shot at a bus stop near the intersection of Rigdon and Ilges Roads.
News 3's Chuck Williams has been following both of the murders since early this morning. Chuck, what's new?
Teresa, Phil, the latest is the Muskogee County Coroner's Office is struggling to find the next of kin for one of the victims. A 33-year-old black woman was shot to death about 5 this morning at Rose Hill Park. Muskogee County Coroner Buddy Bryan knows her identity but can't locate next of kin, so he's not released her name yet. Police are not releasing many details either. The coroner says she died of multiple gunshot wounds. She also died at the scene. The other case started Tuesday night as a burglary and assault investigation. That changed at 5:08 this morning when Wilburn died at the Piedmont Columbus Regional Midtown campus. Man's name was Roy Wilburn. He also died of multiple gunshot wounds.
This morning about 5 o'clock, we received a call to the area of the park at 33rd and Hamilton Road in reference to a deceased individual. The homicide unit is now on the scene and investigating, and that's about all we can give you right now.
The coroner tells News 3 there have been 10 homicides this year. Police consider only 9 of those murders, according to Major Hawk. Teresa, Phil.
All right, thanks so much, Chuck. Now to an update tonight. A murder suspect charged in connection with the death of 30-year-old Steve Phillips Jr. made an appearance in Recorder's Court this morning. 33-year-old Curtis Williams pleaded not guilty of killing 30-year-old Steve Phillips Jr. in November of 2017. Prosecutors say Williams was the last person to be seen with Phillips before he died. Williams admits to detectives of being with Phillips but denies killing him. The defense says there were no weapons or shell casings found and no credible witnesses except for a federal inmate pinning him to the crime.
This seems like a very non-existent case. Usually I'd say weak, but I don't believe there's a case, period. But I respect that, the judge's ruling it's a probable cause here, and so the case will be bound over, and we'll look forward to trying it in a courtroom.
Prosecutors say they have video footage of Phillips and Williams at a Motel 6 with 2 females before the murder.
And only on 3, former Auburn football coach Tommy Tuberville is entering into the political arena, hoping to unseat Alabama Democrat Doug Jones in the U.S. Senate.
His first matchup coming up March 3rd in the GOP primary. Our Elizabeth White sat down with Tuberville at his favorite barbecue restaurant in Auburn.
Tommy Tuberville easily mingles amongst the crowd at Byron Smokehouse in Auburn, something he's done for nearly 20 years when he first became Auburn's football coach.
All types of people come here. And so when I was a head football coach here, I made sure I came here because you get to hear what's going on in the community. Because as a coach, you get locked in that office and watching film, and on the practice field, you kind of lose a sense of reality. You can be brought back to reality here.
Tuberville says he's a leader with a long history of bringing diverse groups of people together to win.
I saw where somebody said, well, he was a football coach. He doesn't know how to govern. What the heck do you think I've been doing? As a football coach, you're responsible for a $100 million budget. You coach 120 18, 19-year-olds, trying to teach them the ways of life. You're their parent, basically. Bring them together, and then try to win. Now I've got a bigger team. If I can win this election, which I plan on doing, I plan on being the coach for all of Alabama, everybody.
Tuberville is a proud President Trump supporter who he credits with getting the economy back on track. He believes Trump puts Americans first, a role Tuberville plans to fill as an outspoken advocate for Alabamians if he wins.
They're going to have a hard time not voting for me. I don't care whether they're Democrat or Republican, because I think I speak for a majority of the people in this state, and I know a lot of people in this country are wanting somebody to go to Congress to say, listen, let's get something done.
And that was Elizabeth White reporting. For more on this story, you can visit us at WRBL.com.
On the other side of the aisle, local officials met with U.S. Senator Doug Jones this afternoon, a little over a month after tornadoes ripped through Lee County. News 3's Angelicia Bruton reports now on the progress being made as the county recovers. Angelicia.
Phil and Teresa, U.S. Senator Doug Jones actually visited Lee County in March shortly after the storm to thank first responders, volunteers, and to speak with victims. Today, he met with the local officials to see what concerns need to be addressed in Washington. Jones says that during the meeting, EMA directors and FEMA addressed where they are with their cleanup process and rebuilding of homes. He says right now the main focus is learning from this storm, better preparing for future storms, and making sure that the victims have access to recovery resources.
We've got, I think the district attorney down here has been involved. I'd like to see lawyers get involved on a pro bono basis to help with these folks. And then there's just FEMA money that is there that they need to reapply for, that they need to know exactly how to do this. This is not an easy process.
Jones says that with all the help Lee County is receiving from the community and its officials, he sees Lee County coming back from this storm even stronger. Local officials say that as they move forward from the storm, they are looking for better ways to prepare for future storms, to place shelters in areas throughout Lee County where people are more vulnerable. Phil and Teresa.
All right, thank you so much, Angelicia. Happening now, Alabama Governor Kay Ivey hosting the Auburn men's basketball team at the governor's mansion.
The men's basketball team made program history in 2019, of course, with their first ever Final Four NCAA appearance. News 3's Shakira Speaks is joining us live from that celebration now. Shakira.
That's right, Phil. Teresa, I'm at the governor's mansion in Montgomery where the Auburn men's basketball team walked out in front of their band while their band was playing songs that they're normally used to while they're playing on the court. In front of about 200 people from the Alabama Senate and the House and in front of other family and friends, Governor Kay Ivey honored the team for their efforts in the NCAA tournament. Head coach Bruce Pearl says they only do things one way.
That's how these guys came to Auburn, on a promise that together we could be competitive, we could be relevant, maybe we could be champions, but above all, we're going to do it the Auburn way. You saw it in victory, Unfortunately, we saw it because we weren't able to finish the job and win it all.
The event just ended and Governor Ivey declared today Auburn men's basketball team day and presented the team with a written declaration. Coming up on the Night Watch, you can hear what else Governor Kay Ivey had to say, plus what head coach Bruce Pearl had to say about their efforts in the NCAA tournament. For now, though, sending things back to you in the studio live in Montgomery and on your side, I'm News 3's Shakira Speaks.
Thank you so much, Shakira. And coming up on Evening Edition.
When your grandmother is so impressed with your teacher, she nominates her for a Golden Apple Award.
You'll meet this week's recipient coming your way next.
And that 82-degree mark just tells us again that temperatures are warm out there, and we're not seeing any rain just yet, but that's coming up. But not everybody will see it when we talk about late storms arriving late tomorrow night. And it's dry out there, maybe invigorating, and the air quality, believe it or not, looking good for soot and particulate matter. The pollen, still an issue.